can't say that I always wanted to be a lawyer, despite the fact that I had been exposed to many lawyers and judges being the product of a lawyer and a judge. I think that even when I pursued the LLB, I know I was interested in law, but I can't say that I knew exactly how I wanted to practice law. It may be believed that being the offspring of a judge, that the exposure to these persons prior to attending Norman Manley would have been sufficient. But the reality is that when you are exposed to persons in a familial setting, the true nature of the profession and the practice of law isn't really what is being discussed. And so, like my cohort, I was experiencing these practitioners and judges such as King's Counsel Mr. Garth McBean, Justice Hilary Phillips, Justice Lloyd Ellis, who is now deceased, Justice Algernon Smith. It really gave me an opportunity to see the law and the practice of law in a whole new light. And it also caused to ignite in me a desire and a love for the practice of law, and ultimately to follow the path that I have followed. I would say that the class of 2002 was and comprised of awesome persons and who have become awesome lawyers, both in the private sector, in banking, in their own firms now. I am proud to say that 3 of us from the class of 2002 are at the Supreme Court. And it warms my heart when I see my classmates stand before me and it happens that I don't always agree with them and I may rule against them, but the reality is that there is a sense of pride when you hear them present their arguments and how they prepare themselves. And I say that that is due to a lot of the influence and the encouragement that we got while we were at Norman Manley. I also think that it is very important that I mention the impact that the law school has brought to me and many of my colleagues who now tutor at the law school. We have, I think, understood the mission, that it's very important to pass it on to prospective attorneys, to be in contact, do the same thing for them that was done for us. I believe that that is one lesson that I learned from my father. He tutored at the law school for many years, and you know, it's funny because I was never in any of his classes, and my classmates would always get precedents and information. Oh, we got this from Justice Wolfe's tutorial. And I would go home and say, well, what about me? I got this at school. I was told you gave this out. And he would say, oh, but you're not my student. You'll get it. Your tutor will sort you out. The truth is that my tutors always did ensure that our group was well taken care of. But it was important to him to have that connection with prospective attorneys, and I didn't see the value at the time, but now I see the value of having that connection with people. Because the reality is, even though you have passed or walked that road, you really have to place a lot of focus on what you give back and how the profession will evolve even after you are gone.